Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. As you all know that we have recently moved to Canada, and today I have a really interesting topic for anyone who's looking to find an apartment in Toronto or planning to move to Canada. When we landed in Canada, we skipped the entire Airbnb hustle and saved more than $3,000. And today I'm going to tell you how did we exactly make that happen with no credit score and no guarantor. Finding a place to rent in Toronto as a new immigrant is really tough and especially expensive with no credit history or no guarantor. We ran into a lot of rejections and even considered booking an Airbnb, which was super expensive. But we found a solution that saved us a lot of money. Stick around till the end to know what exactly did we do to save this kind of money, what are the challenges that we faced, and what the current rental market looks like in Toronto. When we decided to move to Canada, we knew that the rental market is really competitive. So we started in advance. We started looking for places on Facebook Marketplace. We joined a couple of groups like Toronto Apartments for Rent on Facebook. So these Facebook groups came in really handy, as through these groups we got in touch with some of the real estate agents. We booked an appointment with them, met them virtually, got an understanding of what exactly the market is like, what our expectation is, when are we planning to actually move to the country, and what the budget was. So after doing the initial meeting with the agents, they sent us a bunch of listings that we looked through. We did like a couple of listings, but when we actually placed our offer for those listings, it never worked out. The landlords always wanted the credit score, which we did not have. We tried to convince the landlord by even offering 3 months rent upfront, but even then that did not work out. They always expected a credit history. In one of the cases, the landlord asked for 12-month rent upfront, which was absolutely not possible for us to pay. This is a really unique situation where the landlord is asking for 12 months rent in advance because she had a really bad experience with her previous renters. So basically, even after looking at 100 different listings, none of them worked. We did not have any offers taken up by any of the landlords. By this point, we were really stressed and worried because we were sort of sure that we might just have to do Airbnb for 15 to 20 days, which would cost us a lot of money. In general, if you're looking at booking an Airbnb in downtown Toronto, it costs you somewhere around $2,000 to $3,000. By this time, we have seen more than 100 listings and we had no leads, no positive response from any of the landlords, but we did not give up. We kept looking on Facebook Marketplace, and this is where something interesting happened. During our hunt, we came across a post from one couple. They were basically moving out of Canada and they wanted someone to take over their rental unit. The house was really nice and was in downtown Toronto, so we got in touch with them through FaceTime. We checked out the house, we met them, we saw what the amenities was in the building, and it felt all really right for us. We really liked the amenities in the house. We liked the house. It was just right for two of us. But one of the things that we had to ensure was to check if the house is pet friendly, because we have a cat and we needed a house that was pet friendly. And bingo, it was. So this was perfect for us, and this was the only ray of sunshine by this point for us. So we definitely took this into consideration. Once we had the initial conversation with the couple and saw the house, we had one of our friends from Toronto go over to that house to just take a look and actually see how the place is like, because even though you've seen it on FaceTime, you do want one round of check, because we had that liberty, we had that opportunity, because one of our friends was in Toronto. We took that up and just checked out the house in person as well. The interesting part of this condo unit was that this was a lease transfer. The couple still had 4 months in their lease that they needed to complete, but they couldn't because they had to move out of Canada because of some visa issues. This was perfect for us because this was 4 months. This was not 100% commitment. Say we did not like living in that area or in that house, we still had the opportunity to move after 4 months. With lease transfer, there's one thing that you have to be very careful about, is that if the house has any major damages, that would be your responsibility once the lease ends. So make sure whenever, if there is a situation where there is lease transfer, you have to look into any damages or any major expenses that you might incur once the lease ends. So before closing the deal, please check these situations out very clearly with the current rent. This 4-month duration was super helpful for us as well, because this would also help us build some credit score in case we had to move to a different place and look for a different place. Since everything perfectly aligned, we finalized this place. We told them that we are ready to take over this house. We gave them the first and the last month rent upfront, because that's very standard in Canada. Another tip: if you are taking over a house from someone who's leaving the country, always just subtly ask them if they're planning to sell their furniture or the stuff that they already have. In our case, these guys were also planning to let go of all their furniture. They were trying to sell that off. We took that opportunity, made a deal, and got all the furniture for us. They had actually purchased all the furniture very recently, so this was absolutely perfect. We got the furniture from them mainly because we wanted to be a little hassle free. We were coming into the country with our pet cat, and we wanted to be a little relaxed and not come into an empty house. But lease transfers can also be a great option, especially in a situation and in an economy where there are so many people who are leaving the country, especially here in Canada. So in this case, you can also look for situations like this or people like this. It's a win-win situation, even for the person who is letting go of their apartment, and even for you who is looking for renting a house. If you like this video and found it helpful, please consider liking and subscribing to the channel. Please let me know about all your rental stories or any questions that you may have. I would love to answer them. For those of you who are new to this channel, I'm Sunidhi and I've recently moved to Toronto. I make videos about my life in Toronto and a lot of other things. If you want to stay tuned to my next videos, please hit the subscribe button and the bell icon, and I'll see you in the next one.